What is good, guys? It is me, Kane. I think streaming. Let's actually do a quick check. I'm gonna get on my phone. I am on live. Let's fucking go! Alright, so looks like the not fun part now is I'm not gonna be able to see comments, so apologies for that. Well, actually, no, I will. You know what? No, I will get my comments playing right now. Alright, we are currently live, and this shit's gonna be awesome. Let's go to YouTube. That's not what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to make it so it... This is the not fun part about viewing a channel and doing all these stats, is it becomes a pain in the ass. How do I edit? Actually, how do I actually edit this? That's a good question. Settings, stream. Now we'll just turn off the preview. Alright, so we're going all the way down to my spellcasting section and beginning the document here. Let's see. Holomancy, lower class. We gotta get the Hematomancy. Yes, Hematomancy. Homebrewery.naturalcrit.com. Now let's do an announcement on my Discord. Go here, copy a link address, and paste it into my Discord. Alright, so let's go ahead and get... I'm going to go ahead and get some water real quick. I'll be right back, everybody. Alright, we are back, everybody. So, sorry about the wait. I don't know if anybody's actually watching the stream, so... Alright, so let's see. If anybody is watching stream, I currently cannot see your name, but we are currently working on some things for the next little bit. So now, let's go ahead and... Let's make this smaller. Blank. What's good, Jester? Currently live streaming.
I have
Let's see. So now I need to make this a little bigger. Let's go to player handbook. Let's see, spell. Let's go ahead and do a spell list. So this one is... So we are doing Bloody Fist, which is a cantrip. Cantrip, casting time is an action. Range, self components is verbal. Somatic, duration until dispelled. That's not true. This would be 4 turns. Chief?
Yeah, I'm good. So what you have so
Currently, here's what we got so far. We have the cantrips. We have the three cantrips. So do note here that when it says components and you see B, that stands for blood. And that is going to be how these follow for all these abilities. So we have Bloody Fist, a cantrip that it allows you to, it's an action, verbal, and self range with a range of self. Components are verbal and somatic.
Before Shopify, were you wondering where are my sales at? But now you're selling with Shopify. You're easily selling online, in person.
There we go. Better. So you enhance your bones with your blood as a coating of hardened organic material. On unarmed attacks, you're going to be doing 1d4 additional blood damage.
damage?
Blunt is my way of saying bludgeoning.
Ah.
I gotta start changing some words around for legal reasons.
No one is gonna use the
Nobody's gonna care, but I gotta at least in the book write the wording a little differently, or else I can look at a lawsuit.
You're hitting someone with that has some with a book. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, do it. You know, I hope anyone wants to using a word that's used universally in the dictionary, but you.
All right, there we go. Sorry, I was trying to adjust my audio. There you go. My audio should be so much better now. So we have Moonlit Harvest, which is the next one. This is one where you enhance your abilities of you or your allies, or yourself with magic that flows through your veins. When the target of the spell makes any skill check or saving throw, you can pay up to 4 health, and if you do, they can roll an additional d4 and add that to their results.
How are you
Well, it's 2 to 4 health. Actually, no, I'm just gonna make it a straight 4. You pay 4 health, basically it's guidance. So let's see. Now we need to get into text editor, new page. So now let's see, this one casts that with a range of 60 feet. Eyesight. Constant damage is 10 blood. Instantaneous duration is not instantaneous, it's 1 minute. Alright, let's give it a quick look around. So let's see. At higher levels, when you cast this spell... Yeah, there we go. Spell casting modifier, SCM. Spell casting modifier. Equal to 10 plus your spellcasting modifier. At the end of each of its turns for the duration of the spell, the target must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, it takes 1d10 necrotic damage. On a successful save, the spell ends. The next one is called Red Strike. Alright, let's see. Looks like we've already got both, we've almost got all of them. know. You good, Chief? You sound like you're running around or something.
Once again, it's not.
It could just be windy too. Let's see. Alright, Jester, let's take a look at this. So we've got, here are the first level spells. So first level is Transfusion. You prick your finger and point at a target you can see within range. The target regains health points equal to 1 to 10 plus your spellcasting modifier, or SCM. At the end of each of its turns for the duration of the spell, they must make a con saving throw. On a failed save, they take a d10 of necrotic damage, and on a successful save, the spell ends. At higher levels, the blood cost and hit points regained both increase by 1, and the damage dealt increases by a d10 for each spell slot level above the first.
Last part again?
What?
Can you repeat the last part again?
When you cast this spell, are you talking about of the ability or the higher levels tag?
The ability.
At the end of each of the target's turns for the duration of the spell, the target must make a con saving throw. On a failed save, they take a D10 of necrotic damage. On a successful save, it just ends. Alright, so let's see. Then we have the next spell, which is called Red Strike. Red Strike. You run your hand with a blade. It's a bonus action spell. Components are verbal and a blood cost of a d6. You run your hand across a bladed weapon coating. Across a bladed weapon. Why is it two A's? A bladed weapon coating it in blood. The next time you hit with that weapon, the attack deals an additional 1d6 of necrotic damage to the target. Additionally, the target must make a con saving throw. On failure, the blade becomes coated in its blood and the extra damage goes up by a d6. On a successful save, the spell ends. Next one we have here is actually a ritual. That's going to be fun to go over. Crimson Binding. Oh, now we've made it to... third level spells. So let's see, now we are at third level spells. It's a ritual. All right. So far, it's looking good. So we've got the first third level spell. Next one we have is Restorative Field. Next one is Alright, we've got all the third level spells. Did you want to hear them out, or do you want to just watch stream? We got all fourth, or cantrips through fourth done. And I don't think we have... Then we have 1 5th level, 1 6th level, and 1 7th level. Not a lot of new spells, but they're good. Alright, so let's go ahead and give you a review of what we got so far. So, all of these, by the way, have been changed to follow the class system that the rulebook's going to use, where it's considered, where it takes the spell class level and then it makes it the equivalent. So this would be considered, so all of these are considered upper class magic. So all of the 4th level and higher are going to be considered upper class, with 7th level being master class. But so we have cantrips are no longer called cantrips, they're called beginner spells or basic spells. We just use beginner for spell, but for simplicity reasons. So Bloody Fist, it's an action, verbal, somatic component, sell 4 turns. You just deal an additional 1d4 blunt damage on unarmed attacks. Moonlit Harvest, it's basically guidance but paying health. Boiling Blood Spray, it's a d6 cantrip that make it with a 15-foot cone range. All creatures caught in the cone must make a con save. On a failed save, they take fire damage equal to twice the number of hit points sacrificed. The spell's damage increases by another multiple when you go up in level. So at 5th level, it becomes 3 times. For 11th level, 4 times. 17th level, 5 times. Then we get to the 1st level spells, which you've already heard. 2nd level spells, Exsanguinate, which casting time is a reaction when a creature within 30 feet of you that can bleed begins to bleed. It's a 30 feet range. Components are verbal and somatic. It's a minute duration. When a creature nearby begins to bleed, you magically accelerate the bleeding. They'll take 48 necrotic damage, and if the creature takes more than 13 damage, it must make a con saving throw or fall unconscious for the duration of the spell. Crimson Binding is a minute-long ritual that lasts up to 48 hours. It has material components of a bowl/cup and blood component of 1d4 plus spellcasting modifier to each target. You and up to 3 other willing creatures all pour some of your blood into a communal bowl, and all of you then drink it together. Each target's health point maximum and current health points increase by the total sacrificed health points for the duration. Additionally, whenever an affected creature takes damage or regains health points, all other affected creatures take half of that damage and regain half of the healed hit points. And whenever you cast this spell using 3rd level or higher, the blood cost goes and then we have Sanguine Blast, 3rd level spell, it's a ritual spell, range of touch. It's got somatic and blood components, which is 2d6. Blood component just means it's a dice type. It's 2d6 damage you take. The duration is up to an hour. It's a concentration spell. You slit your palm and choose cold, force, fire, lightning, or thunder damage for the damage type of spell. You spread your blood all over a surface or object of your choosing, but it cannot exceed a 10 square feet. The blood remains fresh and wet so long as you maintain concentration on the spell. As long as you maintain the spell. When you end concentration on the spell, the element you choose explodes out of the blood, and the blood dries instantly. All creatures within 10 feet of the blood must make a dex saving throw. Each target takes 68 damage of that type you chose on a failed save, or half as much as on a successful one. The blood cost when you upcast goes up by a d4, and damage goes up by a d8 for each level above 3rd. Then we have Restorative Field, which is a concentration up to a minute, 2d6 blood cost, at a touch with an action cost. You mark an object with some of your blood. All creatures other than yourself within a 20-foot sphere center on the object, if they are willing, regain 1d6 hit points if they start their turn within the area. Next up, we have Vitality Chain. Using the blood of the target, you write the target's true name on an object. The marked object is now magically linked to the target. When the target When the object is targeted by a spell within a range with a range of touch, the spell instead targets the creature whose blood was used casting the spell. The spell instead. The effect of this spell ends when the creature or object are targeted by a remove curse spell. This is basically meant to be like a possible healing spell, also a possible damage spell for something that gets a lot of movement. Then we have Hemorrhagic Bulk Up, which is an action, caster's choice on blood cost, but it's 2 minutes. You plunge your ritual dagger into your own heart and magically take control of your blood and fill up your muscles, making them stronger and more durable. You gain temporary health points equal to twice the health points you sacrificed. And your strength bonus increases by 1 for each 4 points sacrificed. Additionally, your AC goes up by 1 for every 10 health points sacrificed. When the spell ends, you must make a con save, or else you take 4d8 necrotic damage. The spell can end early if the dagger is removed from your test at any point, and a creature can use their action to attempt to remove it by making a strength check against your spell save. Then we have Sanguine Defense, a 4th level spell, bonus action cost, up to 10 minutes concentration. You spill some of your blood so that it floats on a mass that floats next to your shoulder. This mass has health points equal to twice the number you sacrificed. Whenever a creature within 60 feet of you makes an attack as a reaction, you can make a ranged spell attack against the creature making the attack as the mass shoots a bolt of solidified blood at it. On a hit, the attacker takes 46 piercing damage, and whenever you cast another spell with a blood cost, it siphons blood. The blood is siphoned from this mass for those points, and the next attack it makes deals an additional necrotic damage equal to the health points sacrificed to cast it. At higher levels, when you do this, the blood cost is going to go up by 2, and the damage increases by 1d6. Then we have the last 4th level spell, which is Create Sanguinic Puppet. This does have a material cost of pretty pricey. It's a ruby worth at least 5,000 silver pieces / 50 gold pieces, a drop of blood from the target, and a doll of some kind, along with verbal and somnatic components. You magically fuse the target's blood to the ruby and place it within the doll. The target must make a charisma saving throw. On a failed save, the doll becomes magically linked to the target. The doll is then treated as a tiny construct that has an AC of 10 and health points equal to half the target's max health points rounded up. At any time the doll takes damage, the target also takes half that damage rounded down. However, the target cannot be reduced to lower than 10 health points through this method. If the mending spell is cast on the doll, it regains 2d6 health points, and if the doll is destroyed, the spell ends. If the target is not on the same dimensional plane as you, this spell will fail automatically. All we have left now is 3 more spells, and that'll be it for this part, which then I gotta come up with just all the feats and shit. So now we have 5th level Hematomancy spell, which takes 1 action, range of touch. An artist's rendition of the target worth at least 500 silver pieces. A drop of the target's blood. Okay, we got this one. So let's see, now we go. that one was called, I believe it was. As you cast the spell, you draw this. Any creature that must enter the circle must make a con saving throw. So assess the state conscious not exhausted every 6 seconds. 6 seconds, all creatures in the circle take 1d6 piercing damage as the bow is magical thrown on the body.
Okay, now that I'm seeing the stream, how do you oh,
There we go. So, yep, this is... Now, I can pretty much do... Yep, it's all done at this point. Alright, there we go. So, last few spells are Artistic Sanguine Vandalism. It's a upper class magic 5th level Hematomancy spell that has an action of casting time, range of touch, and a somatic and material component of an artist's renditions of the target worth at least 500 silver pieces and a drop of the target's blood, plus a blood cost of 8d6. It's an instantaneous. You splash a significant amount of blood on the artist's rendition of the target across one of the target's limbs. Target must make a charisma saving throw. On a failed save, they take 6d12 necrotic damage, and whatever limb was targeted is now crippled. The crippled limb can only be restored with magical healing equal or greater than the greater restoration spell. Vampiric Circle is our 6th level spell with a verbal, somatic, and blood component of 8d10. It's a ritual spell that is until dispelled for duration with a range of 10 feet. As you cast the spell, you draw a 10-foot diameter circle on the ground with your blood inscribed with arcane runes. Any creature that enters the circle must make a con saving throw, and on a failure, they become unconscious and gain a level of exhaustion. On a success, they stay conscious but and are not exhausted. Every 6 seconds, all creatures within the circle take a d6 of piercing damage since their blood is being magically drawn out of their body. As long as you are within eyesight of the circle, you regain health points equal to half the damage it deals rounded down. Then we have the final spell, which is Sanguine Stone. This requires material component. It's an 8-hour ritual spell with a range of touch, until dispelled duration, and material components of a crystal ball worth at least 500 gold pieces, and minimum of 10 health points for at least 15 creatures worth of blood. Over the course of casting the spell, you imbue all of the blood into the crystal ball, turning it a deep red color. This crystal ball has a pool of health points equal to the total that were sacrificed, and as an action, you can touch a creature with the ball and draw power from the pool to restore a number of health points to that creature up to the maximum of 20 health points. Up to the maximum amount of 20 health points. Additionally, when you cast a spell with a blood cost, you can use your bonus action to draw the necessary amount from the pool. Once all health points in the pool are consumed, the crystal ball cracks and breaks as the spell ends. So this is the pinnacle spell of this class. Basically creating a blood pool.
This is all for a class, and not an entire a different spell pool for spellcasters that use blood magic.
This is for the Wizard's Hematomancy subclass. So they get access to these spells plus the standard wizard spells. However, I am going to be tweaking what their spell list becomes on an entirely separate scale. So they're going to get less of the utility shenanigans and high damage spells, and they'll get these instead. Granted, currently I am not allowing players to pick up this subclass once they hit level 2 unless unless they do enough research into the lore behind it and give me a good reason of why they would use it. Because the lore behind it in the world that the book is taking place in is that the clan or the bloodline that had this ability was literally killed. Like, they were purposely wiped out for the prevention of the chaos that they could create with their magic. And if you are somehow got any of that bloodline within you, you're probably already being hunted down as your adventure is going on. And let me put it this way. The threat that people with these magical abilities possess puts them on a bounty level as high as Gojo from JJK. Like, they are a huge threat. Because they are essentially wizards that can tap into the literal life force of themselves to make themselves even stronger, on top of their spell casting abilities. Save. That would be, is it the name Crimson Fist? Yeah, that's fair. No, share, PDF, you said there is. I want to pull this one up, and can I edit it? How do I edit the file? So I go to the home brewery, I go to recent brews, edit it. Yep. Now, what if I want to? No, we're not signing that Google Drive right now. Can I change its name? How do I change its name? All right, I'm gonna take it off screen for a second, just so I can log into my account. There we go. There we go. So now that it's back, how can I save it as something else? I want to change that. Title. There we go. All right, so as a spellcasting fan, Jester, what would you say is your take on these spells right now?
Yeah, right. I'm hearing all them handwritten some via the stream, which is very trippy. I'm hearing my own self twice
Oh no,
over.
no, trust me. You think that's weird? I'm listening to my stream. Like I have my stream up on my phone just to make sure that it's working.
I'm pretty sure.
It's some surreal shit.
I'll let you go. What? None of this shit is.
I mean, I guess the thing that I would first want to ask you is somebody that has done a couple like runs and stuff, I guess is the best way to put it. Like how would you, if you were to give this a threat level between 10 being this thing absolutely has to be reworked, it's completely busted, to 1 being we need to give this thing better shit, what would you put this at?
It's perfectly fine.
Okay. I got some. I do remember getting some inspiration for the blood magic, at least in the names and some of the concepts, from a source that I can't recall. But I think I've altered it enough to be my own thing. Which, again, if this comes up in a legal case of like, hey, you essentially came up with the same thing. I'm working with what I got here. This is not going to be the final draft. I'm probably going to go through here and make sure that it is as different as I can from anything else. Like, let's see, Blood Magic 5e.
I mean, I recommend them taking that, like, as in by names and how the effects go off. That's how it's supposed to be worded. In my opinion, that's how it's supposed to be worded. Or if I were actually reading it from a book, I would not expect it. I'm no different.
If you're using blood, I feel like at worst, it's. I'm gonna check if DM skill has anything on here, because that would be. Log in, log in, log in. There we go. Remember me.
No. I mean, I still do checking. Well, like if you're having blood magic, that's just ignoring boots and something. I doubt they will draw fuss because it's literally blood magic, giving it a boost. The best you could do in that situation is just change the name. Like if they're coming at you at the description name.
Worst case scenario, we're looking at. Let me look up their spell abilities and stuff. Actually, we have that, and then we have this.
Because you only can like switch so many to different synonyms if you have to. But once again, it is important to check them.
So it's not this one. Mill events. What if I want to look at the ones that I've already got? Let's see. Blood. Blood Hunter, a respawn of blood magic. Yeah, so if I found it from somewhere else and they somehow find this stream or any of my other content, look, I'm trying to make it my own thing, but you gave me a lot of inspiration. Plus, I've already got plans on making most of this book donated to charity, so at least half of the money's going to charity. But I want to still make a little bit of money off of it, and I mean, I'm not gonna make a living making rule books, I can tell you that. But alright, I think that's good enough. Now I'm gonna look up examples. So what is evocation? So evocation wizard 5e. Let's read over what this says they do. So beginning at second level, gold you must spend and time you must spend is halved. You automatically make people save, damages, avoid the brunt of the effect. Each creature succeeds. Creature succeeds, they take half the cantrip's damage if any, but suffers no additional effect. 10th level, you add your intelligence modifier, minimum +1 to the roll to 1 damage roll of any wizard evocation spell you cast. You can deal maximum damage once you hit level 14. If you use this feature again before you finish a long rest, you must take 2d12 after you cast it for each level of the spell. Each time you use this feature, increases by 1d12. This damage ignores resistance and immunity. So this can kill you if you overuse it. Alright, so now I just need to think about what I'm going to do to add on to this spell. Like, what can I do to make it just as good? Or not just as good, but like, what can I do for a class to have this such a high bonus?
What are you doing now?
I was trying to say that I got to come up with what the benefit is going to be for this class with, like, what, so the subclass that gets this, what should their benefits be?
Yeah, I mean their features or benefits. Same shit.
Text editor, tables, class tables, fullcaster class table. So let's see. So if we look at the Wizard's Evocation, starting at second level. Now here's the thing though. The way this class works, they don't learn these things from scrolls. So what should their benefit be at second level instead?
Actually, now that you mention it, like, if they're not learning it from scrolls, how the heck they am doing all this entire blood magic and stuff?
They're unlocking it genetically speaking. Think of it like it's like a growth point. So their magic.
So why are there not sorcerers, like an example, because
Uh,
sorcerers end up.
the reason I'm not doing sorcerers is if we go back to the class doc that I have, sorcerers already got a bunch of origins. They've got hematomic origins, but they don't learn every spell.
Okay, that is I can like deal with.
I'm basically trying to limit it so even the sorcerers that get this don't get higher than, let's say, 4th level. Like they'll get maybe we'll give them 5th level, but I don't want to give them higher than that because the 6th level stuff starts to do mass amounts. If you can start quick spelling everything, I already know that these spells, if they start quick spelling them, are just broken as hell. Like imagine if somebody quick and spelled Sanguine Vandalism, where they take 60-12 necrotic damage, whatever limb target is crippled, and then they do it to the boss's other legs, so they're basically paralyzed, like they can't walk.
So then, I can see the reason.
Or maybe
But
just
like,
inherently the blood, like they can't. I guess here's the thing. I want to give sorcerers some of this, but I don't think all of it's fair. Because then them getting all the quicken spell stuff, they could start doing all of the like higher level spells once they get to, well, hang on, what level do you get 6th level at? If you're a wizard, you don't get 6th level till level 11. So if our main concern is spells hitting 5th level, 5th level starts at level 9. Okay, so then I guess that technically would be fine. Okay, I
yeah,
was
I'm like, yeah,
sorry.
like if I'm not mistaken, fifth, sixth level, they're supposed to be at least right around 10, which is way more respectable than anything lower level for a sorcerer.
True. So let's see, we'll call this Hematomic Savant. Hematomic Savant. Sculpt
Nah,
blood.
just give just give them scrolls and books, but put in the caption that, as you mentioned earlier on, how this blood magic stuff works. This is very, very dangerous, potent stuff. Like
Maybe.
the
Oh,
wizard.
what if we make it so they actually have like a process to get the spell to work? Like instead of just you pay gold and do a certain amount of time, what if it's almost got like material components you need to complete it, along with some form of physical labor?
Chief, you just said, Chief, all you've been doing for the wizard, which by the way has one of the most hit dice, to stab themselves down and perform blood with their own blood. At best, give them components, like anything manual labor. Actually, no, I take that back. I see where you're coming from. I see where you're coming from. Now if I think about it. No, do it as
All right, now we go to D&D Beyond. Pull up the collection. Where's the thing with the game source? Wizard. Let's look at the spell list. Spells, they get nothing. They get spell casting and arcane recovery. Level 1. Arcane recovery. Arcane tradition. Third level, none. Fifth and 7th level, nothing.
Yeah, like, that's the thing with wizards. If they're proficient, well, no. If they're part of his circle school of magic, they got the
I know, I get the
got this.
subclass stuff here. I'm just looking at the spacing here.
Oh, but that's the thing with wizards. They just know most of the goddamn spells, and the skills and the spells existing within their school of magic that they have learned. They have an easier time learning it. Either doing more damage, because of the faster, etc., etc. Like just the base wizard without adding to the subclass is pretty bare bones, but that's when the subclass helps give it a little bit more. A smidgen of flavoring. Because like ending of the day, other than straight up casting the fireball in a room, you just do just learn how to do that specific school of magic.
Yeah. I'm trying to give them the updated cantrips like wizards do. So let's see. 4. And then when do they hit 4 cantrips? They hit 4 cantrips at level 4. Level 4. Potent cantrip. So now I need to go to the 8th level to get an ASI. So let's see, we got ability score improvement, arcane tradition feature, powered rights. Oh no, that's the feature of the arcane tradition. Wealth level. Dominant level gets nothing. 20th level gets signature spells, ability score improvement level 19.
Anyway.
Spell mastery. We'll give a feat at blood mastery at level 18. At 17, I don't think they need anything. Yeah, so they don't get anything for 17th, 15th, 13th, 11th, 9th, 7th, 5th, and 3rd. So basically every other level they get something for a while. But then the last 3 levels they get something. So then we go down here. No, let's say class feature. 1d6. Manomancer. Wizard level. 6 plus con modifier. 1d6. 6, 4, 4. Do wizards have any armor proficiency? None. Okay.
No. No. Absolutely not. Armor? What is armor? Unless you unless you have a feat that lets you wear armor, the class itself doesn't give no armor whatsoever. Yeah.
Saving throws, intelligence and wisdom. Wisdom, skills. Spell casting ability, that's still the same. Alright. Alright, so looks like this Hamanomancer. This is what you get. There we go. This looks so much better. Okay, we're going to call this Hamanomancer Subclass. Save. There we go. What do you think so far, Chief? I think it looks good.
There they go. See, that's excellent. Hey, that's it. Who is constantly giving you likes or liking and removing the like?
What do you mean?
No, like as in when I'm on your stream on YouTube, I already put on my side. When I just turn, I see it go back. It goes back to two. I'm like, who is? And then removing. Yeah.
I don't understand why this thing. How do you feel about that quote? I feel like that quote looks really good, or really fitting for the situation.
Repeat that again?
Look at the quote at the top of the page and tell me what you think.
Oh, that's wrong. You only third a month. So, yeah, the one that casts it. So,
That can, sorry, that can, not cast.
that's interesting.
There we go. The one that can use their magic to fight, but also as a weapon of its own. Maybe even better, just cut that out and say, I can use magic and the power of their own blood. Power of blood itself. There we go. That sounds a lot better. Of the great 25 clans, the only clans feared among them, not the casters. Among them, the Rukair bloodline. The one that can use magic and blood itself. There we go. And now we give them all the stuff that makes me cry inside, which is looking at the wizard spell list.
It's wizard time.
It's
I got
wizard
both.
time. Make me cry inside. Looking at all the rules about what wizards get, and then figuring out what I'm not giving these people.
And then the point that I'm giving, like as
I feel like to balance them, we gotta cut some spells.
Or, it might be a very controversial idea to you. You don't?
So basically just, well, here's the thing. The reason I want to restrict their spells is because when I look at the spell list for them and I see what their capabilities are, because oh, did not mean to do that. Let's just go ahead and remind you, Jester, that, oh, hang on, sorry, I'm trying to fix my screen. This class already has the ability to technically heal people, and it's a wizard. We already have a safeguard in the fact that they have to know the lore and give me an actually detailed reason why they could have it, and what would the reasoning be, and how they're gonna have to, for the entire adventure, handle the cause and the negatives that this will give them. I feel like if we give them the whole range, we could regret it later.
No, I don't believe so. Because of the entire point of you already technically being hunting ground, and their blood magic will automatically give them away without anything. Them having and them not having any use of any other schools of magic is very limiting already. Like if you want exclude two schools of magic, fine by you. Say helps this spell. Yeah, you don't need them and this fun stuff. You keep that stuff into when you're doing the actual session. But like if you want this class, in theory, not go overboard. Just hit two schools of magic. I don't feel like I'm hitting individual spells from other schools of magic when I'm helping it.
I wish there was like a document that actually had the list here.
Because the entire point, at least being a wizard, ending of the day, you are one squishy motherfucker. Yes, you can have most of the goddamn spell list, but now you're on one strictly squishy motherfucker, which requires them to use their own blood magic, which by the way also costs HP, and you're telling me, Lord forbid, they don't end up having a missing step to get the fuck away from a very bad attack coming their way. Doesn't seem good on spacing or design. Like yeah, it's like there will be a moment I'm find something and break it. Which now that I say it out loud, leave that part as is. Because there's still going to be a lot of play testing with this class and a lot of configuration before you end up bringing out the actual book.
Yeah, I probably should also just be giving them the base book. Let me do this real quick. Show advanced filters.
So like if something comes up,
let's say basic rules, filter spells. Chill touch. Dancing lights. I'm just going to give them the base spellbook stuff just to make this easier on me. Prestidigitation. So now let's see if I go back to Crimson. So let's see, the first one they get from cantrips. Fist. Fusion. So, Arcane Lock. Magic Aura. Deafness. Blur. Continual Flame. Binding. Darkness. Dark Vision. Thoughts. I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream here. Thank you guys for watching that Dead Watch. If you watched the VOD, awesome. See you guys.